What's up, guys? So number one here, let's go over these questions. In number one, it says in 2.3 hours, Jack Sparrow traveled 7.2 miles. How long would it take him to travel 24 miles? So in 2.3 hours, he traveled 7.2 miles. Then I want to know how long will he travel in 24 miles? I have miles in the bottom, so 24 goes in the bottom. So we cross multiply and divide, right? 24 times 2.3 and then you divide that by 7.2. You multiply the 24 times 2.3 and you divide by 7.2. And then whatever that gives you, that's the answer. Get my trusty calculator here. It's 24 times 2.3 divided by 7.2, 7.6. So letter C. Number two. It says during the summer months, Robert formed a fantasy football league. In June, 41 members joined. In July, 26 members joined. And in August, 37 members joined. If no one else joined during the summer, what is the least amount of people in his fantasy league? Well, if no one else joined, we're just going to add the 41 plus the 26 plus the 37. Right? We'll add those together. That's 4. Carry the 1. 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. So 11. 104. Number 3. If the PS5 is 15% off the original price, then what is the sell price? What is the sell price in terms of P? Choose all that apply. This is pretty much asking you, how much do you have to pay? A lot of times, students are going to choose letter A because they see the 15% and they automatically want to choose that. However, that is wrong. Point 15 is the discount. But we're not asking for the discount. We're asking for the sell price. How much do I pay when I go to the counter? I don't pay 15%. No. I still have to pay 100% minus 15% because it's only 15% off. I still have to pay 85% out of my pocket. So how do I get that? Well, 85% is 0.85. And it is also that one. And then the one, this one right here, is the same thing as saying 100%. That's how we get it. So both of those are the way you would get 0.85% or 0.85. And the reason there's a P, that's how much the price is. That's one of the most commonly missed questions on your TSI. Number 4. Given you have a set of numbers 12, 18, 10, 8, 20, 11, and 4, what is the range? Well, what does range mean? Range means the highest number minus the lowest number. So the highest number minus the lowest number. The highest number is 20. Then subtract the smallest number, which is 4. And that gives us our answer. 16. And then I have a note here that says, note, you should know how to find the mean, the median, and the mode. If you don't, ask me in class, right? Mean is how you find the average. You add them all up and you divide by how many there are. The median, that's the middle number. So when you put them in order from smallest to biggest, it'd be the middle number. And the mode is the number that comes out the most. Number 5. Given that y is equal to x minus 4 squared plus 1, what is the y-intercept? And then, well, let's do that first. What is the y-intercept? Well, to find the y-intercept, x is 0. So everywhere you see an x, put 0. Put 0 right there. And then you solve. It's y is equal to 0 minus 4 squared plus 1. Parentheses, right, first. 0 minus 4, that's negative 4. Squared plus 1. You got to be careful when you do this also because you might not have a fancy calculator. Negative 4 squared means negative 4 times negative 4. And that gives you 16. And 16 plus 1 gives us 17. Right? And I have a little note here that says if you want to find the x-intercept, you put the y equal to 0. And that's how you would solve it. But we're not asking that here. Number 6. Number 6, I'm going to run out of room, but oh well. It says, solve for x. If 5x plus 2y minus 4 minus parentheses 2y plus 5 equals 18 plus 2x, find the value of x. And it seems like it's complicated, but it's not. So I'm going to work it out right here. 5x plus 2y minus 4 minus parentheses 2y plus 5 equals 18 plus 2x. And we're looking for the letter x, right? Well, first and foremost, you do parentheses first. Remember? So we should be doing this right here first. And you're like, what do you mean? What do you do here? Say, well, keep on going. Outside here, you have a negative 1. It's hard to see, but it's right there. So you got to put negative 1 inside here first. So if I bring everything down, I have 5x plus 2y minus 4. And then when I put negative 1 inside there, it becomes negative 2y. And then negative 1 times 5 is negative 5. And that equals 18 plus 2x. Now if you notice, we have positive 2y and minus 2y. Well, positive 2y minus 2y, that cancels. Because 2y minus 2y cancels. Right? I'm going to bring down the 5x. And then if you notice real quick, again, we have negative 4 minus 5. Well, negative 4 minus 5 is negative 9. And then that equals 18 plus 2x. Remember, I like numbers with numbers and letters with letters. So I'm going to move all my letters to the left. So subtract my 2x. That cancels. And I'll move all my numbers to the right side. So plus 9 to cancel here and plus 9 here. 5x minus 2x, that's 3x. And 18 plus 9 is 27. Divide by 3. And that gives us our answer. X is 9. So that's the answer for number 6, 9. Number 7. Given a monster truck can travel X miles per hour, X miles in 1 hour, how far can the same monster truck go in 90 minutes? Well, I have time in the bottom, so I'm going to put the minutes in the bottom, so 90 minutes. But if you notice, I have minutes and I have hours. I can't have different times or different kinds of units. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this hour into minutes. That's 60 minutes. And then we're going to cross multiply and divide. So cross multiply. 90 times x. And then you divide that by 60. That's 90x over 60. And then you reduce. That becomes 3 over 2x. Letter A. Number 8. If the average of 4 numbers is 12 and one of these numbers is 5, what is the sum of the other 3 numbers? So again, if the average of 4 numbers, okay, so we have 4 numbers. I'm going to call them A plus B plus C plus D. To find the average of 4 numbers, you add them all up and divide by 4 because there's 4 of them. It says that average is 5. No, sorry. This is the average is 12. There we go. And before I read the rest, I'm going to, well, no, I can keep on going. It says one of these numbers is 5. Okay, so then I will erase the A and I'll put 5 right there. This is what is the sum of the other 3 numbers? So what happens when you add B plus C plus D? Well, to solve this, I'm going to put times 4 to both sides. Then we have 5 plus B plus C plus D is equal to 12 times 4 is 48. Then subtract the 5. So B plus C plus D is equal to 48 minus 5, and that's what, 43? Number 9. What is one factor from here? When the number is not 1 in the front, multiply it to the end. X squared minus 7x plus 6. Make a table. 6 over here, negative 7 there. And that will give us negative 1 times negative 6, because negative 1 plus negative 6 is negative 7. So we got x minus 1, x minus 6. But remember, since you multiplied by 2, we got to divide by 2 now. Now the 1/2 here, the 1 over 2, I can't reduce it, so put the 2 in the front. So it becomes 2x minus 1. And then 6 divided by 2 is 3, so x minus 3. Only one of those, that's the answer right there. Number 10. What is the area of this triangle? Well, how do you find the area of a triangle? The area of a triangle, I put AT for area of a triangle. That's equal to the base times the height over 2. The base is the bottom, right? This is the base, this is the bottom. So we have y times the height. What is the height? X, that's the height. So x, divide that by 2, which is right there. All I do is switch the x and the y around. Can you switch the x and the y? Yeah, of course you can. Number 11. If 7c minus 1 equals c, what is 48c? Okay. Remember, letters go with letters, right? So I'm going to subtract my 7c over here. So negative 1 is equal to 1c minus 7c, that's negative 6c. Then divide both sides by negative 6 to cancel that. So we have c is equal to a negative over negative is positive, so we have 1/6. Again, you might choose letter B here, right? But be careful, that's wrong. Because they don't want to know what c is, he wants to know what 48c is. So 48 times letter c, which is 1/6. So that's 48 over 1 times 1 over 6. And remember, when you multiply fractions, we go straight across. 48 times 1, that's 48. And then 1 times 6 is 6. And 48 divided by 6 is 8. All right. Assume this triangle is a right triangle. Okay, make a little box right there. If y is equal to 8, then what is the value of x? Since we have a right triangle, we can do Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus b squared is equal to c squared. Remember that the only one that matters here is the one across the 90 box. This is the letter c. Everywhere else doesn't matter. So for c, I'm going to plug in 8. And then you can plug in b anywhere you want. You can plug in the 6 anywhere you want. I'll plug it in for letter b. Doesn't matter. So 6 squared. I bring everything down. And the a, well, the a is really x. So let's go ahead and erase that. And then we solve. This is x squared. 6 squared is 36. 8 squared is 64. Subtract my 36. And we have that x squared is equal to 64 minus 36. 64 minus 36, that's a what? 8, 3, 4, 28. And then to get rid of that little 2, we take the square root. So our answer is the square root of 28. Right? So then you would just go look for it in that choice. And if you notice it's not there, right? Well, then it's not 2. It's not 28. It's either A or D. The only one that makes sense is letter D. Now, how do you get that? You just put that in the calculator. Put the square root of 28 in the calculator. It'll give you a decimal. The square root of 28 is 5.29. And then put the other one in the calculator, 2 square root of 7. And that also gives you 5.29. And then that's why that's the answer. Because it matches, right? Number 13. If the mean of 3 numbers is 22, okay, so one of the questions we got before. So add 3 numbers, A plus B plus C, that's the average. And you divide that by 3 because there's 3 numbers. The average is 22. If one of the numbers is 2, okay, so I will erase the A and I'll put a 2 there. What is the sum of the other 2 numbers? So same thing we did before. Times 3, times 3. 2 plus B plus C is equal to 66. And then subtract 2. B plus C is equal to 64. If we have that x over x plus 1, which of the following is true, this is where you plug in the numbers. So I'm going to go straight to it. We have 15 to plug in, and we have 10 to plug in. I'll plug in 15 first. So 15 over 15 plus 1. That's the same thing as saying 15 over 16. Right? In the calculator, 15 over 16 is, convert that to a decimal. That's 0.937. Now try it with 10. 10 over 10 plus 1, that's 10 over 11. And then 10 divided by 11, when you make that into a decimal, is 0.90. So which one's bigger, the 93 or the 90? Well, the 93 is. So then the 15 is bigger. So make sure you're eating the 15, which is right there, right? You want to make sure that the 15 is on the greater side. 15. So back in the olden days, you could buy a protractor, letter P, for 50 cents, and a pack of gum for 10 cents. Which expression is equivalent to this in terms of cents? Okay. Well, I can buy a protractor for 50 cents, so 50p. And I can also buy a pack of gum for 10 cents, so 10 for a gum. If you notice, that answer is not there. So you might choose letter C, right? But that's wrong. Why? Because the 50 and the 10, I can divide them both by 10. If I divide them both by 10, 50 divided by 10 is 5. And 10 divided by 10 is 1, but we don't have to put the 1. Right, so we don't ever put that 1 there. And that's why the answer would be letter B. Number 16, which expression below is x equals 7 a solution for? The easiest thing to do here is to plug them all in for 7, right? So plug in 7 right here. Does negative 14 times 7 equal 2? No. So you do it over and over and over, right? But I'm just going to go straight to the answer, right? I mean, over here you plug in 7. 2 times 7 is 14. 14 plus 12 is not 10. So that's wrong. And just keep on going, right? Again, it works right here. Because 3 times 7 plus 4, take the square root of that. Well, 7 times 3 is 21. And 21 plus 4 is 25. And the square root of 25 is 5. So that one makes sense. That works. Number 17. Given a data set, the numbers all the integers from 1 to 20. What does that mean? That just means all the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way to 20. That's what it means, okay? So if you had all those numbers, which one is more likely to happen? Well, letter A says choosing a number that's a multiple of 10. Well, the only numbers that are multiples of 10 in the numbers 1 through 20. Maybe I should write down the numbers, it'll help. 1, 2, 3. Okay, there we go. So if we were to choose letter A, the multiples of 10 are just 10 and 20. Nothing else can be multiplied by 10, right? So that's only 2 numbers. So 2 numbers if you choose letter A. If I choose letter B, the numbers that are greater than 12, those numbers are greater than 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8. So if we choose letter B, you have 8 choices. Letter C, choosing numbers that are multiples of 5. So 5, 10, 15, and 20. And that's only 4. And letter D says choosing an even number. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. That gives you 10 chances. So which one has the most likely, the biggest chance? That one does, choosing an even number. Number 18. So we have a square. The area of this square is 132. How do you find the area of that? Remember we went over a question like this? You find this, you take the square root. I mean, the area is already 132, right? So then how do you find the missing side? You take the square root. This one's not going to be a very pretty one. I just want to know how do you do it. What is the work? Right, you take the square root of 132, gives you a decimal. 11.4. So each of these is 11.4. So it's asking, how did you do that? Well, we just took the square root. Number 19. If the area of a triangle is twice the length of the base, what is the height? What are you talking about? Okay. So let me draw a triangle here. Well, wrong one, sorry. There we go. Remember how to find the area of a triangle? The area of a triangle is base times height over 2. And it's telling you here, if the area of a triangle is twice the length of the base. Oh, they're telling you what to plug in for A. This is a good question. The area of a triangle, that's this one right here. Well, what are you going to replace it with? You're going to replace it with twice the length. How do you write that? I mean, I keep on going, sorry. Twice the length of the base. How do you write down twice the base? Well, 2b. So you're going to replace 2b right there in for A. So A is now twice the length of the base, which is 2b. And that's now equal to the base times the height over 2. Right? And they are looking for the height. So we're looking for h. Okay? Well, I don't want this fraction here. So times 2 to both sides. So 2 times 2b, that's 4b. That's equal to base times height. But we're looking for the height. Remember that. We're looking for the height. So what am I going to do? I'm going to divide by b now. Divide by b. That cancels because they're both b's. And looky here. Both of those b's are going to cancel. The only thing left over is 4. 4 is equal to h. So the answer is 4. That's a great question. Number 20. Solve this. Ooh, this is a good question. Remember that these answers don't have parentheses. Number 20, right? So what does that mean? If they don't have parentheses, that means they flipped the signs already at the very end. So be careful, right? So let's just do the regular work in the first place. That's a 1, so we're just going to do a simple, that's negative 12, and this is negative 1. With negative 1s there. That's negative 4 times 3, because negative 4 plus 3 is negative 1. So we have x minus 4 and x plus 3. And remember, if the answers had parentheses, then we would be done. But our answers don't have parentheses. So don't go choosing letter B. That is wrong. When they do these weird little symbols, you change the sign. So this negative 4 turns to a positive 4. This negative 3, the positive 3 changes to a negative 3. So our answer is that one. Very tricky question, very good. All right, and the last question here. Given 2 fair coins were flipped at the same time, and fair coins means that this is regular coins, that they're not going to be, they're not trickster coins. Given 2 coins were flipped at the same time, what is the probability that they both land on heads? Well, on the first coin, the chance of landing on heads is 1/2. And on the other coin, it's also a probability of landing of 1/2. So what do you do when you have 2 fractions when you do probability? You multiply straight across. 1 times 1 is 1. 2 times 2 is 4. The answer is 1/4.